readers. I am talking today about The Lost Library by Rebecca Stead and Wendy Mass. At only 224 pages, The Lost Library was a quick read with an engaging mystery. It concerns a boy named Evan discovering a book-sharing cabinet on the town green in his hometown of Martinville. The book centers around three point-of-view protagonists. Evan is one of them, and another is Al. When the town library was still in operation, Al worked as an assistant librarian. Today, Al presents as a ghost and lives with two other ghosts in Martinville's History House, which is a sort of museum made out of a historic house. Now, the unusual thing about Al is her corporeality as a ghost. She still manages to pick up and handle things, and most notably, she is the one who built the book lending cabinet that Evan discovered on the Martinville town green. Evan's friend Rafe tells him that the cabinet is called a little free library, and in it, Evan discovers a book that had been checked out and returned by his own father just before the public library burnt down 20 years ago. In fact, all the books in the Little Free Library are the last surviving books from the public library that burned down. Evan really wants to figure out what happened during the fire because it appears that his father was somehow involved. There is one final point-of-view character, and that is a cat named Mortimer, who guards the Little Free Library. Mortimer also has a connection to the burnt-down public library. Like I said before, The Lost Library offered an engaging mystery, one that kept me reading to find out what the connection was between Evan's father and the burnt-down public library, and how a book on writing mystery novels checked out 20 years earlier using the name of a famous author had ended up in the book-sharing cabinet. But there was a glaring question that really stood out for me, and that was, in 20 years, why hadn't anyone rebuilt the public library? From my studies in librarianship, I learned that there is generally a legal basis for each public library, some sort of governing body that oversees its operation. It might be a city, a county, a parish, or some other type of organization. So in the city of Martinville, how is it that the overseeing body never sought to rebuild and replace a library that burnt down 20 years ago? Evan's father may have been the last person in town that anyone would talk to about rebuilding the library, but attempts to rebuild and or finance construction would have come up on a posted agenda. The information would have been out there. Rafe speculates that not rebuilding the library might have been out of respect to people who died when the old library burnt down. But how is it respectful to forever after deprive the community of a public library? It just didn't make sense to me that there was still no public library, nor apparently even formal discussion to finance its construction 20 years after the old one burnt down. The way that people quickly interact with the book-sharing cabinet, the Little Free Library, bringing additional boxes and wagon loads of books that expand its physical space, demonstrated to me that the Martinville community would likely have embraced a new public library. And it's also somewhat unfortunate that Evan, whenever he wants to ask somebody about the burnt down public library, tends to gravitate toward people who are just as uninformed as he is. So to recap, I enjoyed this book. I got caught up in the story, but I was really rather frustrated with the town for failing to rebuild its public library. The Lost Library goes on sale August 29th, 2023 from Macmillan. Target audience is ages 8 to 12. I received a digital advance reader copy of this book through a Publishers Weekly Grab a Galley sweepstakes fulfilled through NetGalley.